Sup, compassionate people? Welcome to the Vegan News Friday show, where we are going to recap some of the stories that happened this week very quickly, but we're also going to focus on a main story and some of the other things that we've done in the past. So let's get started. Oh, and next week, we're going to be doing Fridays as a live stream, alternating between Facebook and YouTube like we did previously. But this time, it's going to be a little bit different. Wait and see. All right, let's move on. We talked about the top 10 cities in the United States for veganism, well, vegan eating if nothing else, according to PETA. We made an entire video, and all the links to all the videos we made about these stories will be found in the description, as well as at our website. We spoke about Wes Acker in a story where he created a vegan meat delivery box. He funded it on Kickstarter, got way more than he needed, which is allowing him to create an awesome and amazing business. We are actually receiving a box stuffed with those products and some of his other products next week for review to test out, and we'll let you guys know. It comes out in June. That's awesome. We talked about Viva, the animal rights organization based out of the UK, having their bust ads pulled by the government, which is absolutely awful. And as far as we've looked into and tried to find so far, there has been no refund. We also did a video on Haagen-Dazs and how they've come out with four new vegan flavors, along with adding the vegan flavors to their ice cream store locator, where you can look up across the United States where the different flavors of ice creams are, including now their vegan ice creams. And it looks amazing. Check that video out too. A lot of these videos might make you drool. Hugo Boss was also in a story where we talked about Pinatex. You may have remembered when we reported on this last year, along with some of the other vegan leathers. This one's made from pineapple leaves, and Hugo Boss is releasing, or has already released, a new line of shoes made from this vegan leather, and the future is now. It's amazing. Check that out too to learn even more about that one. Now, our story of the week is a big one, and it's something that's been brewing for quite some time now. Wayne Hsiung, Paul Picklesimmer, Andrew George Sharo, Seymour Thomas Masterson, and Jonathan Franmeyer, I'm very sorry if I've pronounced any of your names incorrectly, have all been charged with felonies, including an unlawful pattern of activity by the Utah Attorney General for rescuing Lily and other piglets, but they're focusing on Lily. If you remember that story from last year, I'll sort through and see if I can find a link to it and throw it in the description as well for you guys so you can brush up on that. Recently, Direct Action Everywhere released a new video where Wayne Hsiung, the co-founder, one of the co-founders, speaks about it, and you can find that in the description as well. That will also be listed. In fact, that'll probably be one of the first things listed so that you can see everything he has to say about it. Basically, in the video, he goes over what's going on, the fact that Smithfield Foods has put pressure on the Attorney General through their lobbyists and, you know, their political maneuvering and money they have to make an example out of Wayne and the other activists. They're facing up to 60 years in prison, and that's if they don't bring other charges on them. The Attorney General set this to coincide with the Animal Liberation Conference in Berkeley. This was not done on accident. This was done purposely to try and limit how many people go to the Animal Liberation Conference there. This tactical move may or may not have worked, but I know one thing. We see right through it, and most of us do. We sent a message to DXC's media relations, to their press email, received a call back from one of Wayne Hsiung's assistants, and they are setting up a meeting, probably phone, possibly Skype, that I will share later. I'm hoping to get it out before this video goes, but who knows if I'll hear back or not. But if I don't hear back, I will certainly make it a priority video that will come out right away as soon as the conversation is done and I can get it edited and put up, because I want his viewpoint and his thoughts put out there in the most uncorrupted vegan way possible. To bring such severe charges for such petty crimes, and they are petty crimes, they would never have gotten this. If somebody had gone in and taken a thing of Pringles, it wouldn't be the same as what they're doing with this. They are doing this to scare people in the movement, to scare other activists to not do this, to not open rescue. We all knew that this was going to happen eventually, and this is going to continue to happen. One thing I would like to say to Smithfield and other animal ag industry insiders, people who may watch this, people who have an issue with DXC and what they're doing, you can't stop the future. This is coming. And those you put in prison, especially people like Wayne Hsiung and the people with larger social media followings, all you're doing is making their platform bigger. You're basically martyring them. And by doing so, you increase the message so many times over. There's a petition that will also be linked through the link to DXE where Wayne has the video explaining everything that's going down, what's going on, what's happening. Also, I want to touch on the Animal Rights Conference taking place on the 28th in Berkeley, California. There's also protests and other things leading up to it. I'm hoping to have somebody live streaming from a protest. We'll see. I wasn't able to get there this time. I highly recommend anybody in the area that can attend either of those things, please do. They're going to be huge, and it's a great show of support for DXE and everything that is happening to those who stepped in. We may have different opinions about things that might happen within an organization, but what people within those ranks are doing and what they're accomplishing still stands head and shoulders above many others. And they're doing what needs to be done, and they're saving lives. They're changing minds, they're changing hearts. Civil disobedience is the corner of our democracy. And this is no different than the civil rights marches and the things that happened back then. All right, let's move on to our activist of the week. Our activist of the week is Montana Lopatic. Sorry if I said your name wrong. I say that a lot, but I really don't want people to think I'm doing it on purpose. She became vegan and started doing activism when she was only 17 years old. Her and her story is an example of how social media has bolstered and created this new movement of veganism, of animal rights. She became vegan when she was 17 because she saw friends posting on social media like Facebook and Instagram and started to ask questions, and one thing led to another, like it usually does for most of us who have compassion. You end up in a place where you end up vegan. Then you end up doing protests and other animal rights events because you care. In just 2 years, she's gotten heavily involved to the point where she's helping create, run, and participate in so many protests when she's not working. When DXE in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, changed hands, she actually took that over and helped it run. Now it's changed and become a different organization, but it's still up and running. She created a Save group that's a branch off from the one Anita started and helps hold visuals at different slaughterhouses across Pennsylvania at least once a month, if not more often. It can be hard to wrangle vegans sometimes. Definitely with schedules and everybody working, and we are kind of like herding cats. So here's to her. She was local, I've seen her around a good bit, and we've kind of done this a little bit before, but this is going to become an actual weekly thing now. So if you know any vegan activists that deserve to have the spotlight on them, please let me know. I'd love to contact them and go over their history, learn about them, and give them a platform and a place to put their links for people to discover them and find them, and just to have the community give them some credit and applause for what they've done. And as always, I'm giving our featured activists of the week their chance to choose what organization they would like to have supported, have donations given to. She chose a local organization started by people I've actually known for quite some time. It's called South Central Pennsylvania Animal Advocates, which was started by Adrian Williams and is doing great outreach and tabling across the central Pennsylvania area, which includes places like Lancaster, York, Berks County, that whole region. Whether or not you're familiar, I don't know. But I certainly don't want to just stay in this area. I want activists from everywhere across the world, and the more the better. And you can't have the activist of the week without the douchebag of the week. And our douchebag of the week, come on down, is Florida teacher Dewey Bruton. This complete piece of crap decided that one of the most educational things he could do was to trap nuisance animals, which were 2 raccoons and a possum, and then take them and have students help drown them in a large trash can as part of a teaching lesson. And the reason we know about this is video was recorded by one of the students, and their mother saw it. She reported it to the school and to the paper. The teacher has been suspended with pay. Yes, with pay. And many, many, many are defending him both within the community and at the school itself. I'm not going to post the 14-second video, but if you want to see it, Google's your friend. I'm not even going to link it. It's disturbing, it's awful, and it's exactly what you think it is. One of the raccoons was just a cub, just a very young child. Just a very young child. In the video, you can see the students actually using rods the teacher gave them to push them down because they were surfacing to get air out of the top of the cage, and they were pushing them down to make them drown. The commentary from the students in just a short 14-second video is disturbing and gross and upsetting, and it's awful. What a terrible, terrible human being. So that's everything this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out the website at vegannewsnow.com. And don't forget, like I said in the beginning of this video, every Friday is going to be an alternating schedule between here and YouTube. Next Friday will be live on Facebook starting at 5 o'clock. There we will recap all the stories that happened this week. And with each story, there'll be a Q&A if you want to talk, or if you have any other questions or any other stuff you want to talk about, even if you're a non-vegan and there's something you want to talk about, we can do that. Also, this Friday, I'm going down and we will be recording a Cube of Truth either in Lancaster or Easton, PA. The Easton, PA one is near Allentown. I'm not sure which is going to happen yet. I don't know if there's enough people for the Lancaster one. We may go to the Easton one, where they actually just got 32-inch TVs for the Cube, and it's actually where we did the Allentown one. And as you can see, I actually have a wireless microphone system now that I've been testing out. This is the first video I'm using it in that I'm going to put out. But it works really great from a decent distance and picks up only the voice of people close and yourself. It's great, and I can't wait for the interactions we're going to have, and hopefully I'll have a camera operator. Well, I don't know about that. That's everything, guys. Love you so much. Thank you for living with compassion. Thank you for loving animals. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to check out our podcast, too. Later.